All right, one more here we're gonna work on, and I might have to try the looper again, but we're gonna call this a 2/7 at a time exercise. It's not really 2/7 at a time, but it's really a way of looking at two seventh chord structures that we're going to begin to use them together in different ways, but there's only 2/7 in terms of chord shapes that we're going to worry about doing. And the first one is a seventh shape that you're going to work. If you can see that, I've got ring finger. This is a D7, and then okay. So hopefully you can see that, and I believe we've got that in the book as well, or in the instruction sheets. Okay. The other shape that we're going to use is the barred E. We're using like an E7, but with the bar. So that's going to be a very standard one that you use a lot. Okay. We're open on that. It's the E shape, right? But I'm just going to lift my pinky and okay, so that gives us our seventh. And that one you can use them all. But really in this exercise, we're going to focus on kind of we'll use the root string, the low E, but we'll also use the fifth, fourth, and a little bit of the third, and that's where we'll focus things. We're not going to try to kind of strum all of it, but focus a little bit on that. Let me see, I'm going to turn this down ever so slightly. Probably should have done that earlier. But, okay, so we've got this shape. Okay, I'm just sliding that whole shape, which is... And then we're going to play basically a 1-4-5 blues, but since we're starting on this D, the other place that D, if we were to use the open E shape, would be up here at the 8th fret, sorry, 10th fret, okay, with that same open E shape that we use down here on the G7. And there you can hear that's our 1 and our 4. And then the 5 chord would be the A7. So the 5 to the 4, back to the 1 with the different shape. Now that shape, if you think about it, and we want to use it for the G, we can move that one up to the 10th fret. Okay, gonna hit this. Make sure my sound's coming through. Okay, so that's our G7, but in the other position that we're using for this. And then the A7 is just, 2 frets above that G7. So now we really have, 6 shapes that we're potentially going to use here for just 2 chords. Well, I'm sorry, 3 chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5. But each of them we have 2 variations, right? We have this shape for the D7 and that shape for the D7. And then on the 4 chord, we've got that same open shape or barred shape for the G7, or we can do it up here at the 10th fret in that other shape off of the 5th string, kind of use that as our root. So when you think about these, think the 6th string root for that bar chord and wherever you're going to play that. So if I've got to find a D, I find the D and I play that, 6th string version or shape of that 7th chord. If I'm going to play it starting on the 5th string, there's my D, I have to play it there. And if I find my G and my A, my G and my D, okay? So we could play this little blues thing. We could play it down here. I'm going to play the 5, the A7, the G7, back to the D7. What if I just played them all with this shape? Okay, that was the 5/4 turnaround right there. So I could also start it with the D7 up on that in that same shape, so I could play it all in this shape. Okay, I'm messing around with the 5/4, but I'm trying to get you to understand that with these shapes, we can play a straight blues, 1/4/5 blues, and we can use all those different shapes, but we're really only using 2 variations of each chord. So again, if we start this blues in up here, and if you would stay on the D, now you go to the G, back to the D7. Now do the 5/4. D, D, now the G, back to the D, the A7, the G7, and the D7. Okay? So the idea is there to be able to play through a blues, basic, 12-bar blues, but start mixing up those positions for each of the chords you play. So you begin to feel that I can play that D here or here. I can play my 4, my G there or there, and there's plenty of other places to play it too. I can play my 5 chord there or there, my 4 chord again. Okay, so a little 1/4/5 with 2 positions. We're all using 7th chords because those are kind of meaningful in the blues thing. You use more 7ths and it sounds a little more bluesy. So there's your 2 7ths at a time exercise. So keep that one in mind and work on that, and we'll have more soon.